We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
The people have spoken, the votes are in, and the players are ready to rock. At curling's first ever All-Star event, live from Nashville, April 15th and 16th, where 13 of the world's best men's and women's curlers face off for a star-studded celebrity pro-am, a unique skills competition, and an all-star skins game you won't want to miss. Got a ticket? We'll see you in Music City. Don't have one? Better hurry. They're going fast. The 2025 TCG All-Star Game. Live from Nashville, April 15th and 16th. Let's rock.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Team Homan rocks. Team Mowat rocks. But who rocks harder? On April 7th, we'll find out. Presented by Rio Mare, join us in Toronto at the Curling Group's first ever Battle of the Sexes, as world number 1 Team Homan takes on world number 1 Team Mowat in a head-to-head charity curling skins game with a twist. 8 ends, 4 rule changes, and curling like you've never seen before. Watch it live on the Grand Slam of Curling website, app, and YouTube, with celebrity coaches and special guest appearances. The Curling Group's first ever Rio Mare Battle of the Sexes, April 7th, Mattamy Athletic Center in Toronto. Get your tickets now at thegrandslamofcurling.com. Let's rock!
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of Curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of Curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
The people have spoken, the votes are in, and the players are ready to rock. At curling's first ever all-star event, live from Nashville, April 15th and 16th, where 13 of the world's best men's and women's curlers face off for a star-studded celebrity pro-am, a unique skills competition, and an all-star skins game you won't want to miss. Got a ticket? We'll see you in Music City. Don't have one? Better hurry. They're going fast. The 2025 TCG All-Star Game, live from Nashville, April 15th and 16th. Let's rock.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Team Homan rocks. Team Mowat rocks. But who rocks harder? On April 7th, we'll find out. Presented by Rio Mare, join us in Toronto at the Curling Group's first ever Battle of the Sexes, as world number 1 Team Homan takes on world number 1 Team Mowat in a head-to-head charity curling skins game with a twist. 8 ends, 4 rule changes, and curling like you've never seen before. Watch it live on the Grand Slam of Curling website, app, and YouTube, with celebrity coaches and special guest appearances. The Curling Group's first ever Rio Mare Battle of the Sexes, April 7th, Mattamy Athletic Center in Toronto. Get your tickets now at thegrandslamofcurling.com. Let's rock!
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed? More innovation?
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
So good morning and welcome to the Curling Stadium Martensville International Playoff.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Morning and welcome to Playoff Sunday here at the Curling Stadium Martensville International in Martensville, Saskatchewan. And we are featuring quarterfinal action this morning in a game between two teams that just played yesterday in the last draw, and a game that featured a triple and a quadruple takeout, both by Scott Howard, in a losing cause. And Calvert won that game 9-8. So 8 teams remain. The teams are just underway here, a couple rocks in. 8 teams remain in the event. in the single knockout now. From here on in, you just go 8-4-2 to a winner and expect to have some good action. It's been great this weekend. The teams have been all tremendous. There's a lot of good talent here, and it's been exciting to watch. So it looks like Calvert's got hammer here. There would have been a draw to the button. I thought at first Calvert might get hammer with the as a result of the victory last night over Howard, and since they both have the same records, but they didn't play each other, so they did. What I understand is they did do a draw to the button, but however it happened, looks like Calvert does have hammer. So my name's Jim Nix, and I'm here with Rachel in production and Kaylee on cameras this morning, and really looking forward to a great day of curling, and in particular, a great game of curling. Yeah, Calvert does have hammer, so Howard now is looking at just a straightforward hit early in the game. He's got one guard up there to work with, but second stone, Jason Cam brothers on this team. Jason and Matthew. Working hard to make that curl. Now going to try to hold it a little bit straight. Maybe make the double, and he won't quite get it. I guess he did. Couldn't see the backside there on that shot. So Braden Calvert out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. Scott Howard plays out of Ontario and precisely plays out of Navan, Ontario. If you don't know where Navan is, you're not alone. I even lived up there for a while, and I can't remember where Navan is. I'm pretty sure it'll be in the Toronto area. Looking for a little hit and roll here. Kyle Kurz. Trying to carve this one a little bit. Doesn't really look like it's moving a whole lot. Get to the nose. A little hard sometimes early. If you do that really early, I find that it doesn't have a lot of effect until it starts to make a little bit of a break and slows down a hair, and then I think you can really move it. We're asking for probably what I think would be somewhere around a hack weight. I'm not quite sure what their team signals are for weight, but might be a little closer to board, perhaps. It turns out in the chat that I might have learned that Navan is not actually that close to Toronto, but closer to Ottawa. It's outside of Ottawa, which makes it even worse because I did live in Ottawa for probably 7 years, but that's a long time ago. The memory fades after all these years. So a nice little roll there for Team Howard. Not buried, but Braden Calvert now look for the double and roll back. He can probably make the double. Yeah, I don't know for sure if he can get behind, but he can maybe tuck a little piece of it behind. Working hard to hold this one straight beyond the guard. So a little trouble now early in this one for Braden Calvert. He has hammer, which is good, but Scott Howard has two rocks both making contact at least with the forefoot, and both close together, so throwing the guard is a definite possibility. Looks like about 4 feet of curl. Kind of been pretty steady all weekend long. Pretty much been the edge of the 8 foot to draw the button. Give or take a couple inches. Maybe a little bit warm. pretty good. Maybe a hair tighter than you like to be, but quite good. Chance to get them all here, I think, if you can hit it right. And this over top of the one on the hat of our logo. Trying to figure out the significance of the logo, and I don't know that there's any direct significance other than obviously the logo for the brewing company. Ooh, we threw that one back a little bit. Got a curl. Fortunate to hit that. I think if you're looking and you're wondering, I think we've got the rock colors reversed on the scoreboard. Get that fixed up. Doesn't take much to confuse me. So you can see the throw there from Corey Chambers. He just kind of maybe sliding a little tight and kind of steered it back, and that's always a challenge to get it back there. You can usually get it back and make contact, but it's hard to get it back to where it should be. Scott Howard with another guard. Tim March. Tim and Scott have been together forever, it seems, and I know that at least one of the Cam boys have played with Scott a lot. But Tim and Scott have been a fixture for many, many years. Braden Calvert might ignore this, and he's going to. He's going to play the draw. That would be a long run back, and he's probably going to be forced to draw on his next one if he did play the run back and didn't make it, which would be likely. Look at play wouldn't even mind a freeze here, even though it gives Howard a chance to make the freeze back and maybe force. But right now it's a bit ugly for him, so he would rather make this one. Braden Calvert. Braden's first game in the Spiel. Here, but haven't seen him around very much over the last number of years. And I'm in the extreme East Coast, so I don't see a lot of these players, but certainly familiar with Calvert. But I just haven't seen him a lot in recent years. That's a very nice shot. Quite good. Actually, by moving it a little bit, it gives Scott something to think about. Does he play just to try to pick that out of there, or does he go ahead and play the freeze? Be an interesting decision. Looking at like a freeze, but maybe a back 4-foot freeze sort of shot. If that's, I guess you can't really call that a freeze if you're doing that, but definitely playing a little more in draw weight. He's moving the broom into inside the edge of the 4-foot. He changes his mind once he gets out here and realizes he doesn't have a ton of room here. He's played a really good hand. He would really like to force Calvert into taking one here. I think the freeze is his best shot if he can find the weight. He's going to try to move it. Just not convinced he's going to be able to move it without just bouncing it back on the zone rock at the back of the 4-foot. Just a light tap weight. Tim Marsh on the broom now. Hold it straight, going back and forth. It's pretty good work on behalf of the sweepers. That is a great shot. I never thought that he would ever play that tight and go for that. So that was a heck of a shot by Scott Howard. He just barely cleared that guard. Or the rock at the top of the 4-foot. I guess don't really call that a guard. So Braden Calvert with a tough little shot now. Basically the same shot Scott just threw, but he doesn't have a lot of wiggle room for rolling off. He's taking a little more ice, so he's throwing a little closer to draw weight. Should be sort of sweeping draw weight, I think. Big shot early in this game. Braden Calvert facing 3 with his final rock in the first end. The way you like the first end to go when you have hammer, but it goes this way sometimes. So jumped out a little bit early. It didn't look light to me, but I'm a long ways away from it. Just a clean, basically, at this point. Brendan going to try to make it move. Straight. Looks like it's going to be a great shot. Well done. Just a couple of tremendous shots there for first end action. And Braden Calvert will pick up 1 with hammer in the first. And I have a 1-0 lead as we go to the second end and our first break.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
The people have spoken, the votes are in, and the players are ready to rock. At curling's first ever All-Star event, live from Nashville, April 15th and 16th, where 13 of the world's best men's and women's curlers face off for a star-studded celebrity pro-am, a unique skills competition, and an all-star skins game you won't want to miss. Got a ticket? We'll see you in Music City. Don't have one? Better hurry. They're going fast. The 2025 TCG All-Star Game, live from Nashville, April 15th and 16th. Let's rock.
So we're back for second end action here in the quarterfinals of the Curling Stadium Martensville International. Had an interesting first end. Some nice shots made by the skips, just sort of routine, but they're never quite routine when you're facing 3 for sure in the case of Braden Calvert. So Howard now with hammer. So Howard stone a little deep. Calvert comes around the guard. Pretty nice spot right at the top of the button. So these teams got here both with 3-1 records. And just to let you know how they did that, if you're not aware, Braden Calvert started with a win over Ryan Kleider, 5-4. Lost to Chase Sinnott from the U.S., 7-6. Shut out Drew Height, 6-0. And then beat Scott Howard in, like I say, what was a burner game last night. We'll talk a tiny little bit about it as we move on here. I didn't see the game, but I did see the highlights. 9-8 finished with a 3-1 record. This rock coming in, just trying to sit on the corner of the red. And that works out pretty nice. Good angle for the Howard squad. So Scott got here with a win. He started with a win over Jordan McDonald, 5-3. Then he beat Uder Gosgens from the Netherlands, 6-5. Uder was 0-4 in this event and never lost a game by more than one. Well, no, one game he lost by 2 points. Every other game he lost by 1 point. So he was right in them all. Then he had a win over Wesley Wendling from the U.S., 7-3. And then last night, as we mentioned, lost to Braden Calvert by a score of 9-8 in a game that he made a quadruple takeout, trailing 6-2 after 5, made a quadruple takeout 6 to score 3, and then down 3 playing the 8th, made a triple. A really nice shot to get 3 in the 8th to force an extra end, only to end up losing, but a couple of spectacular Howard shots. If you didn't see that game, you can go back into YouTube and look that game up on the Curling Stadium, not Curling Stadium site, basically, on YouTube, and check that out. And it's worth going to have a look. Those are two of the best curling shots you're going to see. So a nice draw there. So finally at a point where if Scott wants to open this up a little bit, he can. There's only a single guard out there, but right now everything favors the Calvert team. So he's going to throw this one and try to probably run it back over the top of the yellow, touch it at least, and then roll to the corner for a corner guard. Jason Cam will be a nice one. Bringing a little bit of heat to this one. He might not be trying to throw it real hard. Might have been a smidge tight. Curled a bit, but at least everything's behind the tee line for him now. So until Braden throws this one, which I imagine would be he's going to play a little hit flop. I think I'd be leaning towards a draw here, but it's a personal preference thing. As I mentioned, a terrific field here in Martensville. Only 16 teams, but you had 3 or 4 teams that just participated in the Brier here this week. Can't remember if it was 3 or 4, but 3 for sure. 4 teams out of the U.S., including Corey Gopkin, who's won just about everything in the U.S. this year. And 1 team out of the Netherlands and 1 team out of Korea that we saw last night, who also had a tough week, but played really well last night. With a little bit of work on their gameplay, I think, and then they'll be a force because they throw it really nice. Every one of them, they're just out of their junior age, basically, and won the Korean Nationals. So that lead team. Scott Howard now has hammer, but it's not really setting up the way he'd like it to set up. Thinking about playing the freeze into the reds, which just takes all those rocks away, but it also little bump. For Braden Calvert, everything behind the tee line right now is beneficial. Looking for a back 8-foot type weight, back 8, maybe back 12 at most. Nicely done. Yeah, we just mentioning again, we've been in Martensville a few times this year, and they do host a number of events, and they always get very good fields. I know there's a lot of good teams in Saskatchewan and not very far away, but they get a lot of good teams from away as well, so they obviously enjoy coming here. I think the ice conditions are pretty consistent on a regular basis. They have decent speed and they have decent curl. I don't know if they have really big curl all the time, but they have nice finish and speed is always more than adequate. So all the competitive teams, that's usually their first criteria. They like to enjoy where they're going. They also like the great ice conditions. This looks like going to be a terrific draw. It's to the nose. It's getting very difficult for Team Howard to be able to manufacture much here. And he may have to he's looking at the slash here, and he's also looking at running the yellow back, the guard. The guard is a problem. The only problem with running it is that it might go up in the exact same spot, and you might not be any better off. But right now, I think you've got to get rid of the guard. You can get rid of that and get a little break on the next guard attempt, and you might have a chance to move some rocks out of the back there. That would be helpful. Matthew Cam. Marsh working hard to hold it. Don't want to get to the nose. Well, I guess maybe you do. He's going to jam that. Actually, it turned out not too bad. Might have even turned out pretty good, actually. Didn't have the feeling that was the way they were going. I thought they were trying to hit that a little bit on the other side and maybe rattle it off that rock that's just outside the rings. Well, sitting 1, but red sitting 2 and 3. A lot of group chats this weekend. Has a little more of that than I'm used to seeing with the competitive teams, where everybody gets involved early. There's a lot of the teams. I know that from a time point of view, this is I think I've done 4 or 5 games so far, and I don't know that I've done any that have been less than 2.5 hours. So certainly a little slow. They do have a schedule that allows for that here. They're able to still get enough time in between to scrape and get the ice ready for the next draw with practices. So it works for them. It just gets a little bit long sometimes when you're watching, for sure. It just takes a little while. It looks like probably going to be a guard call here. Corey Chambers, third stone for Braden Calvert. It's like they've decided not to make a play on the rock in the ring. They're going pretty hard, though, so he wants to get over to the inside if he can at all. That would be a pretty good shot. It's funny how ends go sometimes when you think a team is in trouble, and just one shot turns it around and kind of just flips the script, where all of a sudden Calvert, who was looking pretty good a couple of shots ago, is now sort of playing a little bit of defense and hoping to get out of this without giving up more than a single, hence the guard on shot rock. Howard playing the Yellowstones. Matthew Cam will in turn and trying to get to the inside on this. That's very nicely done. Going to be some interesting shot calls in this game for sure. The teams seem to be quite happy with leaving lots of rocks around. Once again, we have a team chat. Not sure I love this as a skip. Traditionally, I skip, and I think it's there's a time and a place for it, and I don't know that it's every single shot for 3 or 4 shots in a row in the second end. So it's just my personal opinion, but Braden Calvert's not somebody that's new in the house. He's been around for a long time and had great success as a skip. So I don't know that he needs quite as much input as he's getting right now, but he might like it too. Well, he might like the fact that there's more people involved in helping out with calls. No clocks here, so time's not really an issue. Right, and looking at all the options for sure, looking at coming off the red, looking at trying to get to the inside of the yellow a little bit. That's tough. That inside is tough. But it almost acts as a draw. The problem is you might set something up where Scott can come off of that yellow. That would not be good. Laying off his own red is a pretty good option, except for it may not work out as good as you think. All of a sudden, Scott Howard could sit a couple in good shape. Scott coming out to chat with his team. Or make an assumption. I can't even see anybody out there, but went out there for some reason. It's time to kind of make a decision here. It's a bit risky. And it's only the second end. Braden faced a really tough situation in the first end, so he probably would like to have something a little easier, even though he doesn't have hammer, at least easier to force to 1. 3 now. If he ever played the outside red and didn't get a roll, then Scott Howard could quite possibly play his own yellow on the 2 reds and roll and sit 3 with a couple of them buried, or at least one of them buried. I think the in-turn draw is not a bad shot. Scott Howard's already sitting 1, so it's not really a problem that you might have him sit 1. But if you draw in here, you might even be able to slide between those yellows. But if you rub off the yellow a little bit and roll behind the guards, wouldn't be bad. Looks like he might settle on this one. You definitely have to get the roll if you play this shot. A lot to decide and a lot to think about, but sometimes it doesn't get any easier the longer you think about it either. Pretty early to play a shot like this just because you're not really 100% sure what the ice is going to do. You've been here for a couple days now and played four games so far, so you might have a decent idea, but it's always nice to have day of action, day of shots to visit and stuff to really know what's going to go on. So it looks like a hit and roll. Braden Calvert, the intern. Almost peel weight. Hit and roll. We're going to make something happen. We'll see what it does. Well, didn't really change much, to be honest. Howard's still sitting 1. I don't know that it helped at all, to be really honest. I think didn't roll into the pile somewhere, but with maybe a little less weight might have actually been a better result. Have another look at it here. Takes out his own, moves it a little bit. So Howard actually has a little bit of a tap to sit through, maybe if that red one will squeeze through there. Yep, see again. It's just a little more weight than I think he really needed to throw there, but I don't know exactly what he was going to try to get out of that. If he's trying to get it thin enough, maybe a little thin enough to come off the yellow and come back up, might have been the shot. Scott's biggest issue here is trying to figure out how he's going to get 2. It's certainly enough room. Thanks for that zoom. That's certainly enough room for that red one to fit in between. The problem is if you play that, you're going to be maybe opening it up because your shooter is probably not going to stay there if you actually want to touch that red. Of course, maybe nose, just off the nose works a little bit. Sometimes after all these types of shots go on and everybody talks about them and try to figure them out and try to figure out how you can get more than one and everything else, somebody ends up getting 1 at the end of it, as opposed to a 2 or a 3 or anything like that. So Scott Howard with a little tap on the red. A little tap of his own onto the red, I should say. Mark, just a beast on the broom. Trying to keep it a little bit straight, and we'll see if he gets it through there. And he still sits, I think, just 1. Well, it's getting a little crazy with the number of people in the house. So situation right now, Howard sits 1 and 3. And Calvert could play the double and the yellows. It's always a bit scary, but definitely there. It'll come over the top of that other red. And I think it won't touch the other red, the red in the middle, right on the center line. And if he could do that, he would get rid of those. The only trouble is that, just trying to think if he could probably hit that just off nose and not really move very much. I was just trying to see whether or not there'd be a chance for Howard to find a way to get 2 after doing all of that. So a lot of discussion here. This is a big moment in the game. Isn't usually here. It's just if you're trying to decide how aggressive you want to be. What I do know is they only have 3 hours allocated for a draw and then a clean and get pebbled and ready for the next game. It'll be hard pressed if we don't move this one along a little bit. I need to kind of keep going on that, but we're 45 minutes into this game and we aren't finished the second end yet. He could throw a guard up here and hopefully make it good enough that he just gives up the one. Scott Howard would have the out turn draw, but they haven't been over there much, and he would have to almost bite the button to score 2 that way. After all that might be what they're going to do. Looks like it almost has to be what they're going to do. You kind of got to that point where, okay, done talking. Let's just go and throw it. Maybe when this is all said and done, there may be an opportunity for Howard to kind of run something back in with not blistering weight, but run something back in there that might manufacture more than a single frame, but we'll see. Good guard. Now we're looking at playing this yellow back. It would scare me if I was Calvert. If he plays this, if he's aggressive enough to play this back and, I don't even know if he runs a risk of getting rid of his own. I don't think he can hit it. So I think it's pretty safe that the worst case scenario here is he ends up with a single, and the best case scenario is he ends up with 4. So given that he can't cause himself any damage that I can see, definitely worth doing. So Scott Howard, the master of the big shot last evening, gets another chance to make a dandy. This might be the easier of the 3 he threw. I don't know, but the long run and 2 rocks that you've got to work with. So coming in, we'll see it in a second. Might be on to overcurl a little. No, great shot by Scott Howard to pick up 4 here in the second end of this quarterfinal game with Braden Calvert. Terrific shot by Scott Howard. You can see this coming and really pretty well swept all the way. So a great line flow as well, just off at the end. On top of the other yellow, right back, never a doubt, just dead on, just a perfect curling shot. Braden Calvert's got to be a little disappointed to take that long and then end up still giving up multiple points. So we'll be back in just a minute.
Team Homan rocks. Team Mowat rocks. But who rocks harder? On April 7th, we'll find out. Presented by Rio Mare, join us in Toronto at the Curling Group's first ever Battle of the Sexes, as world number 1 Team Homan takes on world number 1 Team Mowat in a head-to-head charity curling skins game with a twist. 8 ends, 4 rule changes, and curling like you've never seen before. Watch it live on the Grand Slam of Curling website, app, and YouTube with celebrity coaches and special guest appearances. The Curling Group's first ever Rio Mare Battle of the Sexes, April 7th, Mattamy Athletic Center in Toronto. Get your tickets now at thegrandslamofcurling.com. Let's rock!
Looks like they left the stage. Wonder what I can do with that.
So after a tremendous double raised takeout by Scott Howard, nets him 4 points. He now has a 4-1 lead after 2 ends of play here against Braden Calvert in quarterfinal action at the Curling Stadium Martensville International Spiel here in Martensville, Saskatchewan. Howard team all smiles after that end. That was the tough part for that with Calvert, is there was no risk. Sometimes if you leave a shot like that, but the other guy has to take at least a risk of causing some damage to himself, then it's they don't either don't play it, or they play it with a lot more cautiousness, and it doesn't always work out. And that one, really, there was nothing to fear for the Howard team. But Robert just needs to get a couple here and get back in. Come around the corner. Left it a little bit open. So Calvert with some work to do. Jason Cam, second stone for Team Howard. Looks like he straightened that one out just a little bit, but they're on it, so they must need to be. And they will get by, so no problem. And rolls right behind the guard. One thing in Martensville here, at least I feel, is that the circles aren't lightning fast. So rocks like that do, you hit only a third or so of the rock, and it doesn't necessarily roll all the way out to the 12-foot somewhere. So nothing really wrong with that at all. It's just, it could be rocks, could be ice, I don't know, but it's just a little bit different as well. Sometimes we see circles that are like lightning fast, or rocks that are really, really quick to bounce, and it's just a little different, slightly different game. You just make an adjustment and go with it. So looking to open up the front a little bit. Braden Calvert just, he knows he's not, he's got to score, but he's also got to stay in this game. He doesn't want to play himself into too much of a mess. That didn't really help a great deal, but at least it's his rock out there now. Scott's not going to let up at all. He's going to play all offense here. Kind of almost have to do that for a couple more ends at all before you put it into a little bit of a defensive mode, if you will. Well, having said that, you also don't play yourself into a 3 here or something like this. So Cam looking to just bump this one back ever so slightly. And get a little bump. Well done. Probably another. Calvert like to make a double here. Like to get rid of either the one at the top of the 8 or Even the one that's on the button, you could miss that top one and go take the one off the button and roll it to the corner. That would be good as well. If you're wondering at all, and if you haven't looked, the brackets for the quarterfinals are Corte and Kleider on, well, I don't know what sheet they're on, it doesn't matter. And Howard and Calvert, then Kaltov and Dropkin and McDonald and Sinet are playing in the final game. So we'll give you the scores of those after. I know most of you probably looked that up on Curling Zone, but we'll give you an update here in a couple of ends. So looking to move a couple of yellows here. And he'll but moved it a little bit. It's actually now where he can make a double off of that yellow if he wanted to play that. Scott now probably will move something in the front if he can without it jamming. And I think he could get both yellows if he hits this one just, yeah. He's actually looking to save the shooter here. So maybe he's looking to play this over the top, roll the shooter over in front of his rock that's in the 8-foot. Matthew Cam now. Turning through quite a bit of weight. Actually, kind of did it. Maybe that's where he was thinking he moved the red one over. It does block the double, or I think it does. It's close. We're really close to try that. Looking at bump weight, board weight. It also plays red straight back. And so, again, same thing. He's got the same issue to deal with the guard. You have to get really close to it. Not exactly sure what he decided to do here. I don't know if he's just trying to chip off the front one and open up the back yellow, or if he's trying to actually make a bit of a play on the back yellow. Corey Chambers, though, time for a big shot. He must be close to whatever he wants. So he is playing the back one. This could be a great shot. Very nicely done. Didn't quite get rid of everything, but I don't think he could. I don't think he could throw it any harder. It's still a great shot. Unfortunately, it leaves it wide open, so that's a bad part of it, but I don't know that he could have made it any better than that. So got to give him 4 out of 4 for that, even if the final result leaves Howard with an open hit to zit 3. Indication from Matt or Jason Cam is that this is down a little bit. Be okay now. It's going to be right on then. Oh, you got a little bit of a roll. Oh, got a great roll. I think Calvert's got to run the front, and he really needs to make more than just a one. He can make this, get the one off the top of the button, roll a little bit to the corner to protect his number 3 shot. That would be good. Outturn coming down here. Trying to hold this enough to, and he gets the back one. Well, that's okay too. And guards his rock at the top of the 12-foot, which I don't know for sure which one's closer, to be honest, the yellow or the red. But if it's the red, that was a big deal. And it looks like it would be the red to me. So Howard going to guard here. Not sure what that tells me about the other 2 rocks, because I think I sort of feel like he might look to try to at least get a second shot in there if he was not second shot already. So anyway, they might not either. Playing very aggressively, and for the first time in this game, we're playing an end at kind of normal speed. So that's always helpful as well. Scott Howard, as we mentioned a couple of times, and we'll let this one, sit after this, but certainly making some spectacular shots here in the two games against Calvert. Calvert will be having nightmares. He'll be seeing Scott in his sleep for a couple of weeks. The shots he's made against him. So good, guard. You might be able to get to it. Don't know for sure if you can get to it with enough weight to get it out. It's the only thing, but you might be able to get to it with enough weight to move it and roll. I think Kurz and Calvert have played together for a while, so we're played together frequently. At least somebody told me that yesterday that seemed to know. I'll tell you what, I just couldn't deal with this much input. And I'm not somebody that doesn't mind input. I think if you think you can get to it, you got to go make a play on it somehow. And if you don't, then you look at the angle raised. But if you miss it, you may not get back in this game. So I think you've got to go around and move that, even if you only end up moving it to the back of the button and hopefully are half buried or something. I think there's enough curl here to do that. Could play the run as well to be sure that you're going to have a reasonable shot to score. If you do play the run and make it, then you're probably going to have a better opportunity than you have right now. Probably set it on the corner. Try to line it up so that if he gets the opportunity to run his red in, runs red onto yellow, you got to picture that in your mind, then that would be good. I don't know if Scott will let him have that, but that's baby steps, I guess. Braden Calvert trying to fight his way back into this one after dropping the 4 in the second. And play basically what amounts to a freeze, I think. Yeah, if they can get a little bump, line is really good. If you can get a little bump here, might want to sweep that a little tiny bit. I don't know. I would have tried to get a couple of brush strokes on that one, even just if it's going to be that far, it's not going to hurt it if it's another 2 inches and you end up with shot rock, just in case Scott finds a way to miss a shot. One hard plan A here is to make sure that rock goes away, and secondary to that, if you could make it and roll a little bit inside, would be good. Get a little more curl out of it. Should be fine. Right on the nose, I think. He will. So Braden Calvert now would be, well, if he is number 1, 2, 3, if he's number 3, he could think about whether or not he can make the double for 2. And if he's not, though, I think he has to just play the out-turn draw for a single. I don't really love the slash now. I know it's makeable. These guys make so many shots that I couldn't even think about making even in my prime, if you want to call it that. He must not feel like the double is really there going across the face of the yellow. Well, I think it would have a chance. Anyway, we'll see what he does. It'll be exciting to watch, and He probably feels like he's due to make one of these, given how many he's seen against him here in the last couple games. I'm taking really any ice. More and more with the top teams where they don't really they plan right out of the gate that they're going to back it up a little bit. So he's close. You can go by the street call, real close. And no, not to be. So a steal of 2 for Scott Howard, and he will take a fairly commanding 6-1 lead here. I believe it's 2. 6-1 lead after 3 ends of play. We'll confirm that when
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed? More innovation?
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like 1 more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind. From pre-seed to post-harvest, you can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you and your farm ahead of the curve. Grow with us at victorycanola.com.
So we're back, and you can see by the scoreboard there, it was in fact 2. So that may explain a little bit more why he played that shot. Although this is a time when I really miss having a second commentator. We didn't have anybody available this morning because I like to kind of throw this one back and forth a little bit. In my mind, I think an angle raised double takeout at this point maybe wasn't necessary. I think make the draw for one, and then try to do the curler's math again and give up 1, get 2, and give up 1 and get 2, and all of a sudden you're tied with 2 ends to go. So I don't know. That was maybe a little unnecessary to go that hard that early. So now you have a real struggle because you really do need to probably manufacture 3 points here somewhere. Because the infamous curler's math may not work here. I haven't done it out in my head, but I'm pretty sure you come up short here, no matter how you copy it down. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Calvert has to go really flat out now. It's just minimum of 2 this end. Got the 2 corner guards up, both nice and even. So he's off to a good start. Scott, on the other hand, you can see that Tim Marsh did a good job of putting his stones where he wanted them, basically top button, top 4 on the center line. Jason Cram now looking to throw a guard. Nice center guard. No much choice but to peel this. mind another roll to the corner and just get yourself an extra corner guard somewhere. Oh, you will get move around a little bit. Well, it's better than it was. Guard going back up again for Team Howard. Looking it around. It was okay. I guess he was going in there. I thought he was just maybe throwing a straight guard, but straight run back now for Calvert. Get this right on the nose. Leave it right behind the shooter would be perfect. Kyle Kurz. Really do need to get this on the nose, and he will not. So, not a good sweep call there for Braden. It might have been a case of the weight not being exactly what he was thinking he was seeing. So, in a bit of a mess already once again. Quick third end update for those of you that aren't looking at that on a regular basis. We got Clyder and Corday both tied at 1. We've got Dropkin up on Kaltoff 3-0 after. These are all after 3 ends. And Jordan McDonald up 3-0 over Chase Sinnott from Minneapolis, also after 3 ends. Guard going up for Howard. And perfect. Our team has played very well in these few ends that we played so far, but mostly it all comes down to one shot by Scott that really is the difference. So he's looking at playing his red up. Again, not sure what their hand signals are and not hearing exactly what they're calling for. This would be more than board weight, but I'm guessing maybe a control weight kind of shot. Really needs to make one of these. Get something going. And just miss again. Calvert team just having a hard time here. Some days are like that. You think you're throwing it pretty good, and you just get nothing at all out of it. Marsh just with the push. We were talking about this a couple of games ago. I did a game with Marty Thompson, who obviously understands some of that, the push technique better than I do. I'm not quite sure what the effect of that is and what it does for you, but I'll learn. We're going to try it on Tuesday night at our game anyway, because I do have a player in the front end, a young guy on the front end that is a really great sweeper. And if we do that now, I don't know it, and I also don't know what it's doing. So we figure we'll give it a try to figure it out. So I'll have more knowledge when I come back next week for the Speedy Creek shootout. So trying to come around, maybe a little tap, trying to get one of your rocks somewhere where it can't be removed. Corey Chambers third for Team Calvert. This is a nice looking shot. Sneak it by, and he will. I'll tell you what, that was one heck of a curling shot. Unfortunately, didn't get shot, but man, nicely done. That staggers so much the wrong way. It's just, you just normally would not even think about playing that shot. And he probably could have thrown it a little tiny bit harder and actually moved that far enough, as it turns out. And still got enough curl. The key there was to get enough curl to not leave it just in the hole wide open for Scott to remove it. So just a reminder, too, for everyone, if you enjoy watching the productions that we've put on this year or this weekend and next weekend and any other time that we do, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Makes a difference for us, makes a difference for you as well. But, we really can't keep these things going if we don't have the numbers. So the numbers are really important to us. So you want to see all these events and next year and the year after and forever, be sure to like and subscribe. Scott Howard now. As good as that shot was by the Calvert team, I don't know that they're going to get a chance to make it any better. It's the problem. There's so many rocks out in front now. Well, actually, that's the same shot, really. Just really tough. You got to find a way to throw about, I don't know, if you could throw even 4 feet more weight, maybe 3 feet even more weight than what Corey throw, then you might be able to play the little tap. You might be able to sit through. There's a lot of mites, but with where Corey Chambers' rock went to, that there is some curl there. It's just you can't throw much more because you won't get enough curl, but it is possible. But you got to really flirt with that guard too. Like, you're going to have to come by that center line guard by, well, I don't know, very, very little anyways. It's on its way. Kerr's working hard on this right from the get-go. You sneak it by, he will not. But if he gets a little rub this way, that would have been better if he got a little tiny bit more bounce. It just didn't really go far enough to use it, I don't think. Tough day at the rink for Calvert so far. Might be seeing another one of these double angle raise. I don't know how you say that. Double raise angle takeout by Calvert on the next shot. However you say it, put those words together in whatever way you want to put them. It's not going to be easy. I'm not seeing really much else either. Other than that shot, that's the one thing about it. Not like the last time when he maybe had a choice. Right now, he's not going to have much of a choice. Scott trying to figure out what he's really guarding and where to throw. Well, you got to guard the hole because the hole is a possibility for Calvert. Usually, you're trying to figure out, well, can I get a little more out of it than just guarding the hole? And just got to not forget plan 1 here. Needs to just curl a little bit. It's only going to be pretty good. So the shot I just mentioned is definitely there. We'll also go with this one. I don't know if you can make the one that that Kerr's just indicated, but I think you might be able to make that on the outturn. When I look at the overhead, it certainly looks like you can get enough curl past the high red one to get to the outside of the near red one. And if you could, that's a whole heck of a lot easier than playing the double rail raise takeout. Yeah, I think this is there. You got to throw it hard enough. You don't have to throw a rocket because you got to get by that top one reasonably close, but definitely there. And what a shot this would be, and what a change in this game, and at least even the feel of this game for Team Calvert would be radically different if you could ever pull this one off. Still be down significantly after 4 ends, but at least you're still playing and playing with a chance. Braden Calvert, an outturn, angle raise takeout. 2. We can get the weight right. Got to curl a bunch, I think. Not going to get there. So Scott Howard will pick up one more here in the 4th, taking 7-1 lead. Guys are looking around, looking to the skipper, trying to decide if they're going to play anymore, and they will not. So our quarterfinal match here between Howard and Calvert ends early, ends after 4 ends. Scott Howard made a big shot in that one to turn it around, and the Calvert team just never really could get it going. They were close at times, but just really weren't there this morning. Unfortunately, they had a good weekend until now. But Scott Howard will advance to the semifinals against the winner of Forte and Claytor in a couple of hours, and we will see you then. Thanks very much from Martensville, for myself, Jim Nix, for Kaylee, and for Rachel. Thanks very much for being with us, and we'll see you in the semifinals short later today.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.